we had a special and this one. All right, okay. Okay, all right. Any other discussion on the vote? Clerk, do you need this?
Councilmember Fleming?
Yes.
Kerwin?
Yes.
McGinnis?
Yes.
Slater?
Yes.
Wilkenman?
Yes.
Okay, back to Mr. Lamarato. Mr. Lamarato, you had suggested that it had been part of your plan to come before us March 7th. How are you planning to present this material to us now? March 21st?
For your budget?
Are
Well,
you going to
as was suggested earlier, I could have it available on the 21st of March, and then you wanted to have time to discuss it at
Okay.
the next meeting, the 28th, at a study item for the next meeting.
That's cool. That'll work.
If that works.
That works.
So, March 28th.
We'll get it on the 21st, just as a report, and then you can have a week to look it over, and then on the 28th, we have a regular meeting, we could have that as a study item for that meeting to go over that.
Okay. I know that at our previous meeting tonight, it was Councilmember Beltramini's suggestion, and I think consensus was reached that it would be a good idea in terms of the monies that you're mentioning to have, whether it's amendments or something, so that we're able to track when things are moving. I understand that the budget's coming before us, but other than that, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, please go.
What I was thinking of doing is that council could take formal action at the first meeting in April, I guess,
Yes.
then. Unless you get, I don't think you can take it at did you take it at a study meeting or no? Did you take it at a study meeting?
No, but we're meeting
On
on
the
the
28th,
28th.
We are meeting on the 28th.
Well, 28th, you're just gonna receive it.
Correct.
No,
April
21st,
4th.
you're gonna receive it. 28th, you're gonna have it after
Study session.
at the study meeting,
Okay.
at the study, so
Yeah.
I don't know if you can
April 4th.
vote on it
April
or not.
4th.
But what I was thinking of doing is you'll get a look at the 3-year budget. And instead of because there's gonna be a lot of amendments. I mean, there could be 50 lines or more that may have to be amended between all the exact revenue accounts. What I was thinking of doing is that the 3-year budget is out there as a document. And we had a fall update, which was received and filed, whatever, never really voted on per se. What I'd like to do is, there'll be an update of the current year's budget, next year's budget updated for the 11-12, 12-13, another look at that. So you have all 3 years, you have the current year plus 2 years out. What I would suggest is that we just adopt that. That is our new document. That is our new 3-year budget. Okay, as it stands, instead of having 50 amendments to every little line
I
of
see.
to building license and permits, $10,000 adjustment or whatever. So, because really it's a document, it's not anywhere technically in our accounting record. It's a document that's out there that we update. So I'd like to do that. We come at the end of the year, in June, we'll do our formal current year amended budget. We'll also take a look at then, again, another look at those other two going out, then it'll be going out 2 more years again, but if that's okay with everyone. So that the document that's out there will be our 3-year budget. And it's by line item and for all the revenues, all the departments are listed out there. But it'll show you current year estimated for this year, 10-11, 11-12 updated, 12-13 updated by line item for the revenues, and then by department for the expenditure side, if that's all right.
Councilman?
So then the governing document will become rollout budget newly revised.
Yeah, I'll call it the winter, I'm gonna call it the winter update of our 3-year budget. That'll be out there, and that will be approved by a resolution. This is our we approved the winter update budget as presented, and here it is on our website. And those are the 3 columns. Instead of doing all these millions of amendments out there for items that really are not, it's a report. It's a report, basically.
I believe that using the term revised will carry more weight than there's a legal reason not to. I believe that an update comes from you. A resolved revision comes from us, and it is our budget, so.
I could call it the winter update, and then we could, and the
And
resolution,
the resolution
we'll say that,
revises it.
right, that you,
The action.
council formally adopts the revised three-year budget based on the winter update and so forth.
I mean, I know it's semantics,
Yeah,
but.
that's fine.
Does that address some of the concerns of council? I know that when we had our session in here and looking at the resolution that became known as H1, that the home viewers thought, gee, what are these people doing with all these different piles of things? And it struck me, because I'd kind of forgotten after living in this world for so long, that we transcend a budget now. We adopt it then for the fiscal year and wait and see what revenues in fact come forward from the state, what the county decides to do. Look at those again as you prepare that winter revision. And then GASB requires that we do in fact pass an amendment to make sure that we are all in line. So we all know that sitting here, but I do think that this might be made more clear for those who don't live in government accounting and see all those buckets or how that falls in. So I think that this will be helpful.
I mean, it's our first time going through this whole process, so, you know, we gave the fall update, you know, it was received and filed. I guess I was waiting, I don't know if there was any questions or not. But now we could formally, we'll just have a little bit more formal review of the document.
On a
In the
schedule.
following meeting, in the following meeting.
schedule, so we know.
Right, in the following meeting. So we're looking at probably 2 to 3 times a year, possibly looking over the whole. I mean, the fall update was a look based on our audit numbers that we had, so we knew definite numbers. We recalibrated, kind of looking out, projecting out, but things do change, and they change all the time, and the governor's budget discussions and so forth, could be more changes coming up yet that could take place anytime. If they want to have their budget by June, well, depending, we'll see, but if they want to have it by June, and if some of these things work out, then we may have to incorporate, you know, that'll be after our budget's adopted possibly, so we'll have to then, if that's a major amendment.
That's an amendment.
Like personal property is like a major amendment, like $3 million is a major amendment here. But I think that's what we, and this time now, I've taken a very good, every single line item, not only for this year proposed, but also for next year. Everyone has been reviewed thoroughly. The fall update is a look through them and estimating out and going out. Now we have, what the budget process requires, a very hard look at every single line item. So every single line item, every revenue, every expenditure line item has been looked at. Current year, proposed next year, looking 5 years back, looking going forward, looking at where they are today, looking at, several reviews have been done and all that. And that's why numbers have changed even from the fall update, which was basically back in November, based on really September 30th results in the audit report. So we have a pretty good idea right now where we think we're going to end up, and it's very accurate right now on where we think we'll end up for June 30th. Not unless there's some major state budget changes and so forth that come up. Other than state shared revenue, taking that into consideration, right?
Is it fair to say then, John, that, you know, we did this last year about this time. It pretty much turned out to be pretty much what you projected as we were going to roll out to this point.
Well, things have changed.
Things have changed, but basically
as far as our 3-year budget, we are actually, next year's budget, actually it's a little less than what we had projected. So it's going down by about $300,000 or $400,000, I think, from what we had projected over almost a year ago right now. So in total, we're fine. Looking out for the second year, we're fine. This year, recalibrating everything and seeing where we're actually going to end up, And we have there's still a lot of there's a lot of open items out there. We have this ERIT program, for example, which who knows who's gonna take it? Who knows what there should be saved, it can't be, has to be cost neutral, but we don't know who's gonna, we have an idea about 10 people that are taking it, but there could be 20 people, or this could be it. So we don't know, and we won't know until May. So that is an open-ended factor that's in this whole thing too. Now, if more take it, there could be a little bit more savings. If less take it, then there won't be as big a savings. So things like that all come into play, but I have no idea right now on who's going to take it. I know for sure the people have turned in their information, but other than that, that's open until the end of May. So
That brings us
some
way,
people
way
may
up.
wait. Our budget will all be adopted.
Yeah,
It'll be
right.
adopted by the time we'll know for sure who's
That's right.
taking all of it. So I think there's quite a few, not quite a few. There's some that are going to wait right to the very end probably to do it. So.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes.
By reading the newspapers, Troy is well ahead of other communities. We have a multi-year budget. You can read where managers and mayors and council members don't even know what they're going to do this coming year, let alone in the next 2 or 3 years. We have a plan. We're still going to be here. We can now work on trying to become viable.
Anything else on ICMA? Because that's what was this section. Anything else? Do you need any more direction from that Part 1 report? 2 more things come to mind, and anybody else have questions? Speaking of the papers and looking at the fiscal watch issue, I know that this year accounting was going to be done a little bit differently. Is that true?
We're still, I don't know.
That's a big concern, to see fiscal watch, and
I know, it's not, that's one of the factors.
Mhm.
Whenever you reappropriate fund balance,
Yeah.
you're gonna fall in a deficit position no matter what happens. Because they do not consider that as a revenue source. So, like automatically, this year, you're in a deficit. Even though you come in under, you're in a deficit.
Okay.
So,
Is there
as long as you
any way-
reappropriate, and next year we have, even without the library in
Right,
there,
I know.
we're still budgeting 1.9 million. So we have to overcome at least that amount of money
Mhm.
before you can say you're not gonna have a deficit situation. So, even our association has been battling with the state, and they are not budging from their position on it. We had everybody, we met with all the key people there in Lansing, we met with everyone. They don't want it because too many, ours are legitimate operating transfers in revenue into the general fund are legitimate, where some cities
Not so
may
much.
just put money in there, just try to balance out their general fund, so. They don't wanna, they said they can't, they don't have the staff, whatever, to review every individual line item of everybody's audit report to see what is in there. And population is another thing, we lost and I said, well, what are your estimates based on? Well, it's our estimates, and we said that you lost population. Well, okay, we lost 400, they said we lost like 400 people or whatever it was last time from year to year. I said, well, first, where'd you get your numbers from? Second of all, 400, okay, so now we're not 80,000, 400, we're 80,000. So what does that really count as a point against you? And if we had a couple years that we have points for that, population and our deficit thing is where we're getting
Dinged.
thing. We have a good fund balance. We have, everybody's being hit on taxable value reductions and all that, so I don't know how I can even use that as a criteria when everybody's gonna be hit on that, so.
So you anticipate we'll be on fiscal watch again? Okay.
But I don't,
I guess that could be added to one.
I don't
of
have,
the
I don't have
questions.
concerns with it because there are explanations to go along with ours, so.
Okay.
We do have a fund balance, which a lot of cities don't even have a fund balance anymore, or barely anything. And we still have a fund balance that helps us out, so. And our AAA bond rating still, we do have a AAA bond rating, folks, so I think, it's, we're still in it as we do right now.
When we generated vision and goals and handed it off to staff, one of the things was the anticipation of seeing that play in with your work on the budget. Will we be seeing that? And I know that we asked administration to ensure that all offices had vision and goals, so that everyone all your employees have that, and that would be posted.
I don't know if all the employees have it, but I know all the department heads do.
So would you
I'll
see
find
that
out
that
staff
happens?
meeting. I'll find out a staff meeting tomorrow, and make sure that all the employees have that.
So perhaps you could just send out a memo and ensure that that happens.
I'll advise staff tomorrow to advise their employees, so they'll all have it.
So that's,
Excuse me a minute, if I may.
sure.
Is there a way those could be posted, like on your bulletin board outside your office, in your office, so that when people come in, they know that, you know, we really do have a plan?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Sure.
Community center?
So we anticipate that that'll happen under your direction?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. We used to, in fact, have vision and goals in the agenda. Will we go back to seeing that again?
I can certainly put those in there as a standard protocol for our agenda items. Yes.
We used to have that.
Tony, can you make that in? Deb?
Anything else on vision and goals? Anything else on the public engagement strategies? The only one that we're kind of loose on, and I guess we'd look for, unless you know of some, would be the computer survey, or surveys that are available. Maybe the associations know of ways to get some of that input.
I've got some resources, but I
Okay.
think John's actually talked to some Southeast
Yes.
Michigan communities that have done it.
Okay.
I've spoken with Alex Alley, a
Mhm.
friend and colleague of mine, manager of Huntington Woods. They utilized Wayne State University. The person that utilized those taking another job.
Okay.
He's leaving, I think, in April. It was about $2,500. I think Alex said that they had a 80% penetration rate with their residents. And he said it was a good survey, a little slow,
Were
but it
people
was good, a good survey.
Or maybe someone could look into that as another aspect. I know you said there's something posted on the website, which is good, and we've had that. But there needs to be a lot of avenues going on all at the same time. So we're really getting a good cross-section of both the statistically significant one, our ability to do community conversations. And I'll forward something to staff about kind of a design for community conversations. I know you've sent yours. In fact, I have it here, that we can plan that. And we're set to launch then next week, second week in March. So this is exciting. This is good. It's time. Don't you agree?
Again, I apologize for stepping out earlier. Was Maureen going to work on the fact sheet with staff? Was that the indication?
Yes, I was going to put together not only a list of the questions that we're commonly dealing with in emails and in public comment, but also take some information that I saw doing research from other communities that are doing some outreach. I was going to pose all those questions, and I don't know if it would be easiest if I put the questions together and sent them to you so that staff can respond. I could try my best, and I've got an answer for everything.
We'll try to make it, we'll make it
Oh.
as easy on you as we can.
But I think it might be better, and I think everyone else would be a
Oh,
bit more
yeah.
comfortable if I
Yeah.
put together all the issues that
Yeah.
need to be tackled, forwarded them to you,
Yeah.
and then
You don't need to answer them all.
pretend it would be really probably entertaining.
That would be fun.
And then also, staying on surveys, I've been advised that the community survey that was just authorized will take about 4 to 6 weeks
Okay, very good.
So-
from go date, from contract date.
So let's see if we can get an April 15th deadline
Yeah,
on
we
that
can.
contract, so that we've got it before budget. I know that'll be tight for them, but we've truncated a little bit their deliverables, so.
Mhm. Yeah, we'll get going. Are we good on all of our dates, on our upcoming dates, because we have budget coming up? And that is going to be a big task, because we really are going to have to study that. I would hope this year, folks, for our budget, I know that there is that we have the presentations that are made to us. However, it would be so valuable this year to have our budget sessions where we truly engage in all of the issues that disturb us and talk them through at our budget sessions, rather than go out and have surprises at the table when we finally take a vote. Do you agree? Let's have frank and open discussions in here. Okay?
The budget document is not going to look like it has in the past. It's going to be a little slimmed down version of that.
No awards this year?
No, we're
Are we talking
finished
like,
up finish the wall there. So I didn't want to have one sit over here by the side. But,
like this?
no, But it's gonna be back to the old days where we had one page for each.
Do you want a binder
No,
back?
it's
Do you want any of those things back? Okay.
It's gonna be the glossy version is gonna be slimmed down quite a bit.
Okay.
There's gonna be like, I think, 2 pages for each department, org chart, any significant budget changes. They'll still list what happened, their accounts, tenure history, and all that stuff, but we still staff to do it anymore, so we're gonna cut back on some. The fun part will all be there, all the charts and glossy.
Narratives.
And stuff. The back part will be a little lighter than the past.
By about 100 pages or so.
It's a good budget. I do always encourage community members to, it's very readable, it's easy to understand. Any more on those 2 issues? Engagement, feel good? And ICMA, okay? Okay, so we have a week off. I hope to see you all at PNC Tea Taste of Troy.
We have more than a week off.
3 weeks off.
But we're gonna be seeing
We're
each
gonna
other.
get busy.
Yeah, we're not off.
Get our calendars to John.
All right. Thank you, we stand adjourned.